Hi, this video is to kind of just give some instruction on how to activate our serratus anterior muscles. Essentially, serratus anterior is just really good for helping to control the shoulder blades, to help to keep them forward, or let's say to keep them from tipping forward. So they kind of help to keep our shoulder blades flat on our back to allow for easy movement overhead. The shoulder blades can then just kind of slide really nicely on the rib cage. If our serratus is not are acting that well, if they're not engaging, essentially what can kind of happen is that those shoulder blades start to droop forward. Let me show you from the side. So this would be serratus engaged, shoulder blades in a nice kind of flat position. This would be if the serratus are not, and you just kind of get this sort of shoulder forward. Makes it hard to get those, get your arms overhead, as opposed to if I have good serratus anterior activation, I can do more stuff like that. So anyway, a couple of exercises. First one is pretty simple, at least in principle. Execution sometimes can be a little harder. So my hands are on my shoulders. Try to get my elbows to touch in front here when they're low like this. If not, just try to get them as close as possible to each other. And from there, it's lift those elbows, keep lifting the elbows, keeping the hands on the shoulders. The elbows are going to really want to be separating here. See if you can get them maybe just a little bit, get the elbows a little bit higher than the shoulders, and don't let them flare out. Think about keep that head straight up and down too. The tendency is going to be for that head to really want to flare forward. You want to keep the head back and just allow this movement. So you should kind of be feeling it right in here where that serratus is really working on pulling that shoulder blade, keeping it flat on the back. Let me show you what it looks like from the side. So here, elbows forward, and again, the elbows are very close together. They're touching right now. Not everybody can do that, but if you can, that's great. If not, get them as close as you can. As your elbows come up, see if you keep the elbows as close together as possible. Don't let them flare out so you lose the movement. And then just get those elbows nice and high. Don't want to do too many of these. I tend to, if I do too many, I kind of get pretty crampy right here. So just maybe like about a couple sets of 5 or so. Let's see how that works. Another one that works pretty well too, and I think this is not as easy as the first one, just because we're working with a longer lever. It's kind of easier to control a short lever. You kind of know you can use your elbows as a really good indicator of the height you're getting. With longer lever, so essentially I've just kind of gone from this to this, and now I'm going to just reach high and higher and higher. And again, I'm really thinking about, as I'm lifting, keeping those keeping the the shoulder blade being pulled forward as I'm reaching forward too. So again, it's not just reaching up with my those shoulders pitched forward. It's lifting, and again, as I'm doing this, you can get an idea of, like, let's say I'm in this position. As I lift here, the shoulder blade is going from tipped forward like this to being pulled. Now it's more like it's flat on my back. So this is a pretty important muscle that does a lot of stuff, and it really does help us to maintain posture, both in a static posture, whether we're sitting or standing, but also, maybe more importantly, it really is important for when we need to go overhead, lift things, get things off of the shelf. So, hope that's helpful.